Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I will be chiseling the Victorian bay windows. I am doing this by memory, so I will make a couple mistakes, I do apologise. But you will need essentially 8 brick blocks, 28 light brown wattle and daub, 8 glass, whatever glass you want to use, and 8 pieces of window trim. I'm using basalt polished, but historically it would actually be wooden. Alright, let's get to it. So I'm going to place 4 blocks wide, and then I'm going to use qptech chisels planer and chisel away 4 voxels from the front and 4 voxels from the top, and add the light brown wattle and daub, and then add it back in for the full block for this one layer here. And I'm just going to copy and paste this with the pantograph tool. I'm not going to bother with the corners until the very end because they are extremely hard for me. So with the glass for the main one, you want to chisel away till you got 1 voxel's width of pane, like so here. And then you want to add your trim, so the polished basalt, and you are going to take 1 voxel away and just frame it like so all along the 4 edges. And now that's done, you are just going to copy and paste, whether you do it with pantograph tool or manually. And you're going to do the same for the top, but it will be offset. So you want it 1 block out to the front. I will show you just in a sec. I'm going to move it with the wedge tool because it's easier that way. As you can see here, it's 1 voxel sticking out of the front. And you're going to want to do that with the next top one. Now I'm going to add the locks, the window locks, just like so. It's nothing major. I'm not even going to measure if it's right in the middle or not. Just going to go for where it feels right, and there we have the little locks for the windows. So I'm going to do the corner windows before I finish off the corner bottom. So I'm going to chisel away the corner edges here and trim it down so it's a 4x4 voxels pillar on each outward corner, the furthest corner, like so. And then I'm going to add the decorative trim as a window marker where I need to start. I'm going to do something a little different as well from the front main windows. I'm going to add the trim before I add the glass. So I'm just going to add the glass and the trim here because I haven't done so. And I'm going to start from the outward one where I just added the extra piece, add 2 and add 1 and take away the voxels, add 2, and then do the same thing but on the opposite direction towards the other pillar. So I can't really see where I'm going with this, like so. Feel free to pause and screenshot if and when you need to. I'm just going to chisel up 1 voxel all the way along to the very top of the block, like so. And then I'm just going to copy the bottom trim of what I did there to the top. Right, so I'm just going to do what I did at the bottom to the top. I'm a bit stuck here at the moment, so I'm just going to change my position. Sorry about that. And that's essentially it. I'm just copying the outline from the bottom to the top, and it should look like something like this. And now I'm going to add the glass to the trim, like so, and then I will show you just what I mean, Right, and then I'll show you the completed version in just a mo. Now we want to continue the windows up, so I'm going to do what I did to the bottom and continue the pillar ups, but I'm not going to add any additional trims. It's just going to be the corner pillars. I'm calling them pillars. I know they're not pillars, but right now they look like pillars. Now I'm going to show the whole process through the corner ones because they can be a little bit tricky, and I have made a few mistakes myself, even though I've done this several times. So do not beat yourself up for it. If you need to just consistently pause and take screenshots and, you know, take your time with it. Don't beat yourself up. And this is a ridiculous colour to see. I should have made the top ones a different colour so you could actually see properly. I do apologise for that. That's not very good. I'm just going to continue the frame towards the top of the block and then copy what I did on the bottom to the top, like we did for the bottom frame. But it's just one outwards. It's not going to be exactly the same shape as the bottom one. It's going to be slightly different. So please be aware of that. Okay, I did mess up quite badly. So from this angle, you should be able to see a little better. I'm just going to add... there we go. And last voxel. Thank you. Good. Right. That's how it should look. Bottom and top. And then I'm going to add the glass like before. And here we are. Completed corner windows. The corner windows, I never added the locks because no matter how I did it, it looked like trash. So I'm just going to use the pantograph tool and just copy and paste and flip with the chisel. And then we got pretty much the windows sorted. I'm going to add the tops. And you're going to want to add light brown wattle and daub with these. Take away the bottom half. Like so. And then add the wattle to it. And then copy and paste. Now these top corners are surprisingly a lot easier than the bottom. It's just essentially copying the shape of the top frame and just going all the way up. That's all you need to do. And obviously copy and paste. That's it. Okay, so I forgot to add a little bit of wattle and daub to the main front windows here, just to add that little trim, and you'll do the same with the other one if you want to skip ahead and do that. That's fine, it's not going to change much. And then I'm just going to add this block for the front piece of that pillar. That's right, that whole entire block is just for this tiny bit of trim. And then I'm going to add the front bits, and it's just a 2x2, but I will show you manually how far, you know, that is. Or what have you. I'm sorry, my brain is actually currently fried trying to speak and do this at the same time. Okay, and I'm just going to copy and paste that on all of them just to make my life a little easier right now, and then I'm going to flip them just to sort out the lighting issue that it's just created. It's done some weird things. There we go. All right, so I'm just gonna copy, paste, and yada yada for this. Sorry, this front pillar trim. Okay, so I suppose we should tackle at some point these corner pieces. We're getting close to do it. But, yeah, let's do it. I hate this part. So if I'm remembering correctly, we want to kind of follow the outer trim and have a single layer along the edge. And then we want an 8 voxels width and then a zigzag sort of pattern. You see, so yeah, we want to take these two off, and then as you can see there's a single voxels on the decorative trim on the pillar, and then we want to take away, and that should be 8 voxels. Now on this side it's going to be 2 because we need to add an extra block just to make up for that, but we'll sort that out later. And then it's 4 blocks. Now you can happily change this up. The corner I always hated. I only did it because I was trying to keep, you know, the reference image as close to possible to be historically accurate. But you can't have a nice smooth straight edge or diagonally in this game. You have freaking pixels. So if you want to actually prettify this up, go right ahead. Apologize. You want a 2x2 one out on this block, and then you just want to take away consistently like so. Yeah, that's it. That's all I did to this. I mean, if you want to make it look even better, go right ahead. But I was on like a time crunch when I made this, and I'm not going to try to improve it. If it cuts away, it's because I failed doing this properly. So I rather show you the end version. Right, here's the end version. It's 2 voxels downwards, and then as you can see it's got this zigzag, and we kind of want that keep going with this. And then we are going to just add that sort of ledge, and then add another one, so it's just 1 voxels width, and then that should yeah, that's it. That should be it. That's how I did it. You do not have to copy me on this. I'm sure you can make it look nicer, but I do not care. I am sorry. I'm truly sorry. I tried so many times to redo this corner and video it and record it, and it just did not work. So at the moment I'm actually voiceovering this particular part because I believe in game I'm actually cursing this corner, and it's not friendly. So I'm just showing you just how I did it. And and then I continued on just adding on the single voxel between the 2x2s, but I won't do it on the bottom here, on the very bottom, because we will be adding like the supports, air quotes, supports. So I'm just going to copy and paste that over. Right. That should be the main part done. We will need to add those 2 up. But I'm going to add the bottom supports And I'm going to do the front ones first. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2 out. And then 3. And then 2, 2, 1. And do the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 2, 2, 1. Ha ha ha. I don't know. I feel like these corner bits that I'm going to show you are the prettiest bits for this. I don't know why I think they're the prettiest bits. They just are. I have done something wrong here. And I will fix it like so. I don't know why I like that so much. But I feel like that's the prettiest bit. And I'm doing it again. I'm muffing up. We just want 1. And then 1 out. There we go. And add. There. That's it. Now we only have to add like the extra piece on the ends. I will show you in a moment. I'm just going to copy, paste, and blip. So, yeah, these 2 pieces. That's it for the bottom piece. And that should be it. And these are actually quite simple to do. Just trim it down. There is a lot of little pieces like this in this build. But if you don't add them, it just looks a little weird. And honestly, a bit bland, in my opinion. Okie dokie. And then I'm just gonna use 2x2. And then use the 1 voxel to add. Like so. And that is it. Just gonna copy and paste. Sorry, I've gone completely quiet. I'm going to add the trim like so. And then I'm going to add like a top sort of ledge. We will need to add another bit on the corner there, but I'm just going to add like so. And you can make this fancy as you like. I just kept it simple and close to the reference image that I had at the time. And now again, I am still doing this by memory, and it has been quite some few months since I did this. So if I cut away again, it's because I muffed up. And if you are following along, I am sorry for the amount of mistakes that I've left in this video, if I have left that many in. And I have done something wrong here, and I can't tell. Right, so I've just tidied it up. That's how it looks from the bottom, and that's how it looks from the top. You're just having a little ledge, and then we're going to add this extra bit of trim, like so. Does anyone else listen to music when they are chiseling, or do they just listen to the in-game music? Because I do actually, when I'm in creative, I do listen to playlists, and I tend to sing along with it. That's why I probably do my voiceovers afterwards. Unfortunately, I'm not actually listening to any music right now. That's probably why I can't focus on speaking. Because I'm so used to singing crap. Anywho, now I'm done with my ramblings. Now with the front, I did actually keep it quite simple, but there are so many different types of Victorian designs that you can see if you live in England. There are a lot of old houses that has these sort of original trims on them. And the old black and white tiles, some are even red and black, like are still original tiles on the flooring. And you can just take a look at buildings and see how they can be, you know, translated into something like this. You might have to go a bit bigger, but sometimes, you know, having a simple flower design on this I would wanted to have done, but I was stretched for time. Now for this, you just want this a single voxel, so I'm just going to use the planer tool here. And then I'm just going to add the the single voxel for the top. And then I'm going to add in the little design. It's not a flower, unfortunately. Like I said, when I originally did this, I just did not have the time for it. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there should be a voxel right at the end bit. And then we want a 2 by 2 gap kind of between the next row. And there we go. What am I missing here? That last voxel. And then I'm just going to use the planer tool for that. And then I'm just going to use the pantograph tool to copy it over and flip like so. If you do not have qptech chisels and you like to do this manually, what sort of masochist are you? I kid. I mean, chiseling is actually quite addictive, but if you have to do something that is like the same thing over and over again for a design, I'm sorry, I'm just not doing it. I can't. And with that, we are done. And there we have it, the Victorian bay windows. Looking pretty good, if I say so myself. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and catch you later.